So you've seen a lot of real estate models from the inside. You know, if was there a specific moment in time, and I know we've talked a lot about this, but like what was that specific moment where you just started to think about the industry has a real problem and you needed to solve it?
That's another great one. So the industry's problem was my problem whenever I started this model, which was like a flat fee, 100% commission type of a model. And so I started as a realtor when I was 19 years old. I actually started in real estate earlier than that at 15. Illegally driving around with my learner's permit. Yep. My dad had a property management company. We lived on an island, Siesta Key. So it wasn't like dangerous and it wasn't anything like super criminal, but I would like go around the corner in our Jeep and meet somebody at a house and then walk them through and take their application. So I've been in real estate, essentially my entire life, even before my adult life even. Right. And when I became a realtor, I guess to give a little context, Sarasota at the time was a bit sleepier, and most of my pals I was in school with, they just couldn't wait to get out of here. They wanted to go to college and go off to another town and pursue their careers. Sure. And I don't know, the way I saw it, I was fortunate to grow up with a boat, and I did a lot of fishing, and I was like, it's really not so bad around here. I think I'm all right just to be here. But at the time, real estate was pretty much the only logical conclusion that an ambitious person could come to do as a career. This was before like working remote or, really before the internet had even became as proliferated as it is now. Mm-hmm. So I became a realtor. I wasn't great at it, but I was good at numbers. I was good at investments. And so I tried to sell houses to the general population. Didn't do a great job about talking up properties and helping people like see the vision of what it would be like to live there. But I could find good deals, and I could talk about what those properties would cash flow for and the equity that you'd have to buy it a little bit below its intrinsic value and so on and so forth. Right. So I did that. I started selling properties to investors, and when I saved enough of my commissions, I started buying and selling properties mostly for myself. Yep. And that's where the problem came in because I was working at another national franchise that was one of the more costly franchises to be affiliated with. It was at the time, I want to say about $1,200 or $1,500 a month just to be affiliated with the office. And then there was additional splits and fees and things like that. And I thought, if I could just keep 100% of my own commission, then that would like improve the situation quite a lot, especially, to have more funds to roll into my investments. And so right about that time, I actually started my own brokerage for no other purpose than to just save money on doing my own deals. Sure. And there was another company, the first that I'm aware of, that happened to open up in Florida as well, that offered a 100% commission comp plan. And it was, I want to say right about 2002 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. I think 2003. So I saw this solicitation to be like, whoa, you can join a company and get paid 100% commissions. I'm like, oh man, if I would have seen this, I wouldn't have even had to bother starting my own company. So it was shortly thereafter, after I saw that model, I decided, I put it all on a spreadsheet. And it's funny, I was a pretty young man. Yeah, I was I think 23 years old. And I put it all on a spreadsheet. And I'm like, if I had like 100 agents, this would be like pretty good. And, and I didn't know what I didn't know because it was a lot harder to execute and operate in real life than it was. But it's kind of interesting that it was just a couple years after I opened. And again, I'm nearly certain that was 2003. By 2005, give or take, I had about 300 agents as a 25-year-old broker. Wow. And it did work out pretty good as it looked on the spreadsheet, although it was definitely more complex in real life than it was on paper.
Isn't it always?
Yeah, but that was the story to how the model kind of began, and I've been a part of this 100% commission model really from the inception, and have helped, I guess, pioneer the way that it works in a lot of ways. And it's a very fair arrangement for agents. And there's different levels of what's possible with different brokerages, but the aim that we've always had is to be high class at a fair cost. Yeah. Whereas sometimes there are brokers with advantageous commission splits or fee structures, but maybe it doesn't match the elevation of the customers that you're working with more affluent people and luxury properties and stuff. So we've always tried to keep our marketing aimed in that direction.
That's great. Well said. So as we kind of go from like the inception forward, this is your third $1 billion company, right? So walk me through the path that actually led you to build this to the level that it is today. Not the highlight reel, the actual path. Like we talked about the history of it, but as you launch Preferred Shore and moving forward, like talk me through the history of the firm.
Yeah, so I never really had like $1 billion top line sales as a goal or a target. It was just it just was a product of doing the right thing daily, treating people well, and just just doing a lot of deals. I mean, at the end of the day, to do $1 billion a year in top line sales, I mean, you're doing at least 1,500 to 2,000 transactions a year.
Right.
So, there's a lot of talented agents, but there's very few, if any of them, that could do all of that by themselves, myself included. I could never do that by myself. So then, of course, it's a matter of learning how to work well with very productive people, with top producing agents, to be able to provide value to them. And in terms of the history, the first iteration was essentially, I didn't even intend to really be a broker. It was kind of by accident. I was buying properties from listing agents. And then they were like, oh, you got your broker license and we kind of like how you do business. So have you ever considered having agents affiliate with you? I'm like, no, not really. But like, all right, let's see how this goes. So that was, again, that was more of a traditional type of a model until I found the 100% commission model. But then, after that, that's what really was the impetus that caused adding a lot of fuel to the fire to support having a lot of agents join and quality agents join. And it was interesting that it tended to attract more quality agents because it was a little lower level of service from the brokerage standpoint, especially early on, because the main attractant was the fee structure. Over time, it's evolved to now, become more robust and offer more services to agents. But that's essentially the history. And there was never really a specific target to hit $1 billion. And but with the exception with Preferred Shore, we were kind of eyeing that that number, and now we've set our sights even higher. It's like, all right, we got that done, and what's next?
What's next?